Hey girls, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl, Elizabeth. How are y'all doing? How am I doing? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Good? I motherfucking hope so, girl. But anyways, today I'm bringing y'all another brand new video. A lot of y'all girlies love my smoking vids, which I do too, because I'm getting faded as fuck. Today, we're gonna have a little faded sesh while I read y'all some Reddit stories. Y'all also make sure to go watch this video. Let's get it to 2K likes. I know y'all want to see the take a shot after every makeup step. So if y'all want that video, make sure to get this video to 2K likes. Alright y'all, so I got me a new dispo and I'm so excited to open it. Got me a whole melt. Actually, I just got it right now because my plug had pulled up. It was like here. I'm like, I'm going. Alright, enough with the yapping. Let's get into the video because I'm so excited to open this new dispo. This is Candy Chrome. Let's see, this one is a hybrid, I believe. Let me open it. Let's see what we're working with. Look how freaking cute. Y'all see the little packaging. All right, let's open it together. All right, what color y'all think it's gonna be? Hopefully it's pink. I don't know. All right, ready, set, go. Oh my gosh, look how freaking cute. Oh my gosh, look how freaking pretty that is. Love, obsessed. Love. I didn't know if it was gonna be pink or not, but I hope so, but it is. All right, look at her, nice and cute. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've seen this type of pink before. Look how freaking cute. All right, y'all, let's take a hit. First hit. Look how beautiful. It says Candy Chrome. 18 and older, y'all already know the drill. 18 and older only. All right, ready, girl? Go get your dispo. All right, cheers. First hit. Let me make sure it's on. There we go. Okay, I turned it on. I'm so excited for the first sip. All right, ready? Cheers. Oh my gosh. This smell brings back so many memories, y'all. Whenever I was in high school, y'all, the freaking girls' bathroom would be like hot bags as fuck. And I was one of them. I was one of them. But me and the girls that would be in there would be just in there, you know. Hey, you know, you got your dispo, da 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 da. Girl, it smells exactly how this bathroom would smell. Literally whole melts. But oh my gosh, it tastes so good. Love that. Y'all, I'm already feeling it. Like, I already feel a little. But anyways, y'all, why my hair keeps doing that? I hate whenever I curl my hair and like my bangs. I can just never get it right. Anyways, y'all, I have my iPad here. I'm gonna be reading y'all some stories where we get faded as fuck. Alright? Alright. I am gonna upload like right here little pictures, so in case y'all don't understand what I'm saying, you can just read it for yourself. Okay? Okay. Alright, y'all, the first story that I'm gonna read y'all is kind of a weird one, so I'm gonna give y'all a little heads up, okay? If you're not like, if you just get like too like, ugh, like this is like weird, like disturbing. Alright, so this one is, I think my teenage son may have sodomized our dog. I'm not sure what to do. Help me, Reddit. You gotta be prepared. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, for obvious reasons, this is a throwaway account. So I'm not even sure how to start here. The last couple of weeks, my dog, 7-year-old lab, has been acting noticeably different. I guess I could describe it as distant and even depressed. He is normal and extremely outgoing and happy dog, very playful and energetic, etc. But starting about 2 weeks ago, he started acting very withdrawn and nervous around people, even his own family. At first, I kind of brushed it off as a feeling under the weather, but after about a week and a half, I decided maybe he needs to see a vet. Okay, so there's the dog here. He's 7 years old, and the dad or whatever the hell, he's noticing something different about the dog. All right, so something, something ain't right. Okay. I got him in yesterday, and after an examination, the vet told me that he believes the dog has been sodomized. His anus had a slight damage in a way that was consistent with a sort of thing. He said he can't really imagine that his injuries could have come any other way. So already now I'm pretty upset and sort of freaking out. Who would do this sort of thing to a dog? That is so true. Those people who would do that, do that shit to fucking animals, you're fucking disgusting. You're fucking disgusting. Like, ew. Like, I don't know what piece of shit of mind you must have to do something like that. That's just no. I thought about all the people that had access to the dog in my backyard. Gardeners crossed my mind, my neighbors, etc. The only people that live in my house are my wife, myself, our teenage son. Oh, and our teenage son. I came home and thought about it for a while. I had this really ugly sinking feeling in my stomach about the possibility that it could have been my son. I decided to look around his room. Oh shit, he going investigation mode. He's seeing, what he can find. Cause, who else? I didn't really know what I was expecting to find, and I didn't really find anything in there that screamed guilty until I decided to check his browser history. Ooh, that right there, browser history. Ooh, the internet is a dangerous place, y'all. A dangerous place. The amount of things that's in there, especially the dark web. Girl, don't fuck with that. Don't fuck with that. The dark web shit. Oh hell no. I've heard and seen so much shit. I'm just like, no thank you. I found he had been on a bestiality. See, I told y'all. I found he had been on a bestiality forum recently, and a site with pictures of that sort of thing. I feel like I was going to throw up. Now I know that this isn't definitive proof of anything, but it sure doesn't look good. I feel like that just tells you enough. Like, your son over there watching shit like that, and the dog just happens to randomly, his anus, one, two together, But it sure doesn't look good. The more I think about it, the more I am convinced my son has been sodomizing our dog, and I haven't told my wife yet or done anything about it. I have not left him alone with the dog since. I am totally confused and upset, and don't really know how to proceed with this. Reddit, please help. Alright, this next part that I'm about to read is because he had posted this, and he wrote this was 13 years ago, y'all. 13 years ago, ooh, Reddit, had everything and everything. But this is the first part of, him basically saying, hey, how, help me. And then the edits that I'm about to read is, what happened, what he do after, people, came on there, commented on, what they think he should do. So he was just keeping everybody up with it. Okay, it says, edit. Thank you for all the advice to those of you who are serious. I understand this seems like a joke to some of you, but it's not to me. So for those of you that gave real advice, thank you. I think I'm going to take your advice and confront him about it privately without involving my wife. It is not going to be an easy conversation, but it has to happen. My only worry is that possibility that he isn't guilty of this and somebody else did it. I guess then we will still need to talk about what I found on his computer anyways. Ugh, FML. Thank you for being there for me, Reddit. Alright, so that was his first where he, thank everybody. It's part 2. Okay, my son just got home. I'm going to have a conversation with him when I can get a moment alone, and I will come back and let you guys know what happened. Alright, let's see what happened. Edit 3. Okay, just spoke to my son. Before I get into our talk, let me quickly say thank you all again for incredible advice and support. There are a lot of really, really helpful suggestions in there, and I took some of your advice. Anyways, our family had dinner and did our usual nice stuff. My wife and I watched TV. Son was in his room after dinner like all teenagers are, and dog, obviously, was with me. I better motherfucking hope so that dog with you. Cause oh hell no. I waited for my wife to go to bed, which felt like forever because I was so nervous. But she finally did about an hour ago, and I went into my son's room to have the talk. I basically said, listen, I noticed the dog has been acting weird. I took him to the vet and I found out someone has been sodomizing him. Story. Hold on, let's take a hit because this is getting serious. So let's take a little hit break. Okay, all right, let's get back into the story. Let's see where the fuck. I found out someone has sodomized him. Any ideas what might have happened? Question mark. I looked at my son and he seemed ever so slightly nervous, but pretended to know nothing about it. I expected this, so I brought up the sites I found on his computer. Naturally, this made him pretty upset and he got really indignant. I think that's how you say it. At the thought that I snooped around on his computer. Fair enough, I get it. But I got him back to the point and tried to be understanding and fatherly as I could and just told him that whatever happened, I am not going to judge him and he is not going to be punished. I just need to know the truth. Y'all, like, how would y'all go about this? Like, if y'all had a child and, like, God forbid, but some, like, BS happens like this, like, what would y'all do? I feel like that's a really tough situation to be in because, like, damn, that's your own, you know, your own child, you know, it came out of you, or, like, the father, you know? And, like, it's just, like, I don't know, like, it's just weird, like, I don't even know what the fuck I would do, like, definitely, I would be like, what the fuck? But I don't know. Like, what would y'all do? Please let me know in the comments what would y'all do. After about 10-15 minutes of this, he finally breaks down and admits that he put the handle of a hairbrush as well as fingers into the dog a few times during a day last week. What the fuck? Why would you do that? I don't even, like, first of all, how the fuck you get into some, like, shit into that? Like, oh hell no. Okay. He said he wasn't trying to hurt him, and he stopped when the dog at one point freaked out. He said he didn't think he hurt it that bad, and he was too embarrassed to tell us or do anything about it. I believed him in this, but he also didn't give a very satisfactory answer as to why exactly he would do this in the first place. I have to admit, either way, I was glad on some level to hear that he wasn't actually having sex with the dog. So basically, we agreed that we wouldn't tell this to mom, but that we would find a reason to tell her that he needs to see a therapist for a bit. I know I told him I wouldn't tell his mother, but the more I think about this, the more I think I may eventually have to go back on that promise. As for now, the dog is staying with the family, and obviously I made him swear up and down that he would not touch the dog like that ever again, under threat of severe consequences. It's too early to tell if he feels remorse or is just humiliated. It's hard to say. It was very uncomfortable for both of us, but especially my son. I'm sure we can all imagine. I feel like being in his son's position, I would never be in that motherfucking position, like, oh hell no. But I can get that, you know, like, I don't know, like, you must feel guilty as fuck, and you should feel guilty, because, I don't know, just no. All right, edit 4. Due to the outpouring of concern to help you guys, I will update in a week or so and let you know what has happened. Today, I located a therapist that specializes in teenagers. When I figured I can't spell these words. Melody. Y'all know, y'all can read it, okay? Okay, I'm sorry. Appointment for my son to go in and talk to her. I disclosed her some of the issues without getting into too much detail. For now, my son does not know this, but it will be helpful of spirits. But it seems to be making progress. I went for a walk with him today, and he was more playful than he has been the past week. I've been trying to be extra good to him as well, and the love seems to be helping slowly bring the happiness back into his eyes. Can't say I'm still not a little peeved about what happened, but I just like to show my son that I am too upset. Might be damaging right now, but I think we just need to find out why he thought this was okay. As for the brush handle, some of you bring up a good point. I should ask him to throw whichever brush that is away. For some reason, that didn't even cross my mind. Yikes. I'll give y'all all an update on the situation in a week. Thanks again. Alright, so is the first part of the story. Let's go to the second part because I am just like, I just need to know like what the fuck happened. First, we're gonna take some hits, girl. Y'all love this dispo so much, y'all. Like, look how cute. Alright, ready? Should we take a blinker? I'm scared I'm gonna cough a lot though. I'm gonna see how long, okay? Alright, y'all, let's move on into the second part. Yes, I am the father and redditor whose son sodomized our dog with a hairbrush 2 months ago. He's done it again and don't know what to do. Please help. I don't know why this gave me like feet vibes. I think because I'm getting too faded right now. Yeah, I'm faded. Alright, well, Reddit helped me a lot last time. Maybe you guys can do it again. Alright. Long story short, 2 months ago, I took my dog, Colby. Okay, that's a dog's name, Colby. To the vet. He was acting weird. The vet determined the dog may have been sodomized. After a lot of thought, I checked the browser history on my son's computer and found he had been viewing pictures of bestiality and seemed to be active in a forum about it. I confronted him and he admitted sodomizing our dog with the handle of a hairbrush and his fingers. After asking Reddit for help, I decided to put him into therapy and not let my wife know about the issue and tell her he just wanted to talk to somebody professionally. Well, this morning, I caught my son in the backyard holding onto Colby's genitals. Oh my gosh. He was grabbing into his balls. Oh, hell no. That's so disgusting. Like, it's just sad too, honestly. It's sad. Holding onto Colby's while playing tug of war with him. Granted, this isn't sodomizing and the dog seemed to be okay, but my son was basically grabbing and massaging the dog's privates as he held him in place under the guise of a tug of war game. Obviously, I stormed outside and grabbed him in anger, and we had a very serious and angry talk. He had promised me to never chew the dog in any remotely inappropriate way after our last incident. I put him in his room for the rest of the day. My wife is still at work and I do not know what to do. I am at my wit's end. Apparently therapy has not been working. Reddit, how do I deal with this? I think I have to tell my wife now, which is not exciting since she's been in the dark about the sodomizing incident for 2 months. I am not sure how to deal with all of this. You guys really helped me last time. Any advice is appreciated. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna read y'all the update. My wife got home not too long after I put this up. I told her pretty much right off the bat that I messed up pretty bad and that I found out 2 months ago that our son had admitted to me he sodomized our dog. That he sodomized the dog with a hairbrush handle in his fingers. I told her that this was why I had wanted him in therapy and that he wasn't comfortable with her knowing, and I made him a fatherly promise under a condition he would never do nothing like that again. The kid or whatever, the son, he clearly lied and he did it again. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna continue with the other part. Needless to say, she was pretty shocked and upset. Then I told her what I saw today, and she got even more upset. It went from a few minutes of anger to tears. She is pretty pissed off at me and pretty upset about our son and Colby, obviously. I feel like shit at this point for having kept her in the dark. She told me she felt very betrayed, and after calling me some choice names and she was confused, she grabbed her purse and just left the house. I have no idea where she went, but I didn't try to stop her. She was very, very upset. I feel like the worst husband/father in the world right now. I went in to speak to my son, and he was pretty unhappy too since he could hear everything. Obviously was in no hurry to come out of his room for that. He isn't very happy that I told his mom about today and the incident before, but after speaking with him briefly, I think he understands that it was necessary. So basically, my family was torn apart today over a dog. I need a beer or something. As for rehousing the dog, I suspect we'll probably have to do that. But there's a lot we need to sort up through first. I'm sure there is an uncomfortable family meeting in our future. Thanks for the advice and being there, Reddit. So the mom, she was pretty upset, and I feel her. Like I would be upset too, because poor her. Like she didn't know her son, was over here doing all this and that, and the husband just comes on. He's like, hey, this has been happening. And it's just like boom, 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 boom. It's just like, oh my gosh, it came out of nowhere, right? So I feel her on that. But now I'm gonna move on into the update too. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's come on with the other part. As for my son, all he's done is make a hot pocket and go back to his room. Basically just being a teenager in trouble. All right, I'm gonna read this edit part to see what's going on, because y'all, I'm in tune right now. Since a lot of you are curious, my son is 15 years old. I posted this in a comment in the original thread. I thought I had included it in the main post, but I realized I did not. Hope that helps. Okay, well, my wife called me to say she is staying at her sister's house tonight to clear her head. She has calmed down a bit, but said she doesn't think she can handle all of this tonight. I said I understood, and I apologized, again, profusely for not telling her sooner. I tried to explain what another Redditor had mentioned about the first incident was weird male adolescent sexual thing, and he was embarrassed and thought he would confide in me and trust me. So the mom, she's gonna stay with her sister because she's going through it. All right, she's going through it, and she don't know what the hell's gonna happen. Y'all, my hair is like pissing me off right now. Like, why does it keep doing that? Today is not a good day. Not a good makeup day, nor a hair day. All right, let me move on to the next part. She was pretty unmoved by the argument and thinks I should have told her. I guess I was wrong. When we got off the phone, I said, I love you, and she just hung up. This is probably up there as my worst day in recent memory. At least since the day I found out my son sodomized my dog the first time. As for my son, I have no sign of him since he made his hot pocket. However, for about 40 minutes now, I've been hearing what I'm guessing is a dubstep coming from his room. I don't know. I'm too old to even want to know. Kobe will sleep in my room tonight, and tomorrow hopefully the wife will be calm enough to discuss what to do with him. She loves that dog a lot. I am not sure how she is going to want to move forward with all of this. For my part, I can already think of two families we know that will probably be happy to take Cobster. I think that's how you say it. Cobster. Jesus, what a day. Thanks, Reddit. That's just insane. So this was what the hell am I saying? What am I fitted as? So this is the second part, and I'm gonna move on to the third post. It says, update, I am the father and Redditors whose teenage son sodomized our family dog Kobe. It's been 2 months since the latest incident, and my family is falling apart. Alright, y'all, this is the last post of the whole story or whatever. So yeah, let's get into it. Also, comment down below what other video ideas y'all got. Alright, we're moving on to the third post. A lot of Redditors were very supportive and helpful with this delicate situation, and I received many letters offering to take in our dog Kobe after the second incident. It was really touching and to have so many people reach out. I have also gotten a lot of messages asking for an update on what has happened since the last post. Well, a hell of a lot has happened to my family since then, and none of it has been very good. Basically, after hiding the first incident from my wife, I felt obligated to tell her about it when I caught up my son sexually abusing Kobe again. Turns out, not telling her the first time around was probably the worst decision I have ever made. My wife did not take the news well at all. As I mentioned in my last post, she left the house to stay with her sister for a few days and wouldn't pick up my calls. The breach of trust and the fact that I hid something so serious from her really pissed her off. To be honest, our marriage has already been pretty rocky for the last year or two, for reasons I prefer not to get into. So this was just one more bump in the road that our relationship really didn't need. To be fair, I was only trying to be a good father to my son, and I thought I could keep the initial incident between him and I to protect him from further humiliation. Humiliation. It would have been okay if he had kept his word and he would not abuse the dog ever again. Unfortunately, he did not, and I had to involve his mom. Immediately, I should have just done that from the beginning. So after staying at her sister's house for a few days, my wife came home and got into several arguments over the next week or so about our son and what to do about this. And of course, there was plenty of me being painted as the bad guy for not including her on a major parenting issue. I see both sides, like I said. I don't know why the kid, like, you just had to go and do that again. Like, why? Why? Alright, moving on forward. Let's see, where the hell did I decided to take Reddit's advice that we should start looking for a new home for Kobe, since he obviously wasn't going to be safe with us anymore. My wife did not like this idea, and after several more arguments, I come to find out that she suspects our son never even abused the dog to begin with. She tells me that she has spoken to our son about it, and he denied ever doing anything. Oh, the son said, no, I didn't do nothing. So now the mom go think that the husband did it. So basically, I had my son denying he never sodomized the dog, and my wife now pissed off because she is hearing two conflict stories from us, which, as you can imagine, made me absolutely furious. So to make long short story, we did not resolve anything, and we have only become more embittered with each other. This, along with a few other material issues, finally led to my wife asking for a trial separation about 3 weeks ago. My son has decided to live with her, and so I have moved out to a friend's house temporarily while I try to figure out what we are going to do next. I know you guys are probably going to be pissed about this, but Kobe is still living with my wife and son. Why is the dog still living with the mom and the son? Oh my gosh. But Kobe is still living with my wife and son. I tried to take him with me, but this only led to more friction and infuriating jabs from my wife. Why? So you can sodomize him again and blame it on your son, you sick fuck, etc., etc. This whole thing has just become a complete nightmare. I had tried to confront my son about denying what he did to his mom, and he won't even talk to me and has just started taking the stance that I'm crazy. I guess he thought he saw a way out all of this and decided to throw his dad under the bus. That is probably the most hurtful part about this entire ordeal. To be honest, I'm used to having my wife be a complete bitch to me at this point, but the betrayal by my son, who I was only trying to help, is like a knife in my heart. That sucks. That being said, I had to remind myself that he is just a kid in an awkward situation and try not to hold it against him. After all, if my wife and I wind up in divorce down the road, he is not going to be the only thing I love. So I am trying not to do the irreplaceable damage to our relationship. I feel like I've done enough damage to this family and all over and over got a goddamn lawbreaker. I think that's what it says. I wish I could say my priority at this time was still on Kobe's safety, but I will be lying. My relationship with my family is in tatters, and I don't know what to do to fix it. Obviously, I would still like to see Kobe rehomed as well, but I feel like I need to focus on fixing my relationship with my wife and son so my life can go back to normal. So Reddit, I know this is kind of a unique situation, but I'm sure there's got to be some of you out there who have something similar happen to you. Any advice for a dad who is losing control? My wife has decided to separate from me, and she took the dog and my son. Feel like I'm losing control of my life, and it's all because I tried to help my son after he sexually abused our dog. He lost his family because he was trying to help. Well, he saw the dog was, going through something, and then it just more led to one, and then more and more. That's just insane. Like, it's just so sad. That's sad. Alright, I just got done reading the third post because there's 3 posts. And then this is basically an update of like what the hell happened. I guess you can call this the 4th post, but it's just like a recap and what had happened. It says, I am the father slash predator who lost his family after it came to light that my son was sexually abusing our dog Kobe. I have some good news for everyone. Kobe is safe. So that's good. The dog is safe. But there is still the question of what to do with my son. So the last time I updated, I had been living at my friend's house for a while. My wife and son and Kobe's stayed at the family house. My wife was somehow convinced that I was the abuse of our dog and that I was blaming it on my son, which is maybe the most confusing, infuriating feeling I have ever had. I tried calling my son for several days and hoped that I could convince him to come clean and help us on the road to fixing our family. He did not pick up, nor did he ever call me back. So about 2 weeks ago, I decided to show up at the house when I knew they would all be there. I knocked on the door and my wife would not answer it. I admit, I kind of lost it. I started shouting and pounding on it, and she eventually came outside, where a yelling match ensued between her and I in a front yard. I finally left after she just put her hands over her ears and started yelling, dog fucker, dog fucker, dog fucker, over and over to try to humiliate me in front of the neighbors. As I walked back to my car, fuming, I looked back at the house and saw my son staring at me from the second-story window with a blank look on his face. I stared at him and shook my head in disappointment, but he didn't change his expression. I had to admit, that really broke my heart and pissed me off. So fast forward to just a couple of days ago, I am at work, nearing the end of my day, when suddenly my phone rings and it's my wife. I pick it up and she's sobbing and obviously very upset. She tells me that Kobe has bit in my son and that he has gone to the hospital to get stitches. She says Kobe bit him in the lower abdomen 2 times. She doesn't know what to think. Obviously, I never knew exactly what happened. I could tell she finally knew I was right. Kobe would never bite anyone unprovoked. He is an incredibly friendly dog and has no history of biting or being aggressive at all. Was this motherfucker trying to put his thing in his mouth? That's like the only thing I can think because... oh my gosh, what the fuck is wrong with him? When we got off the phone, I felt this rage building inside of me. I felt like it was finally time for this shit to end. Kobe had stood up for himself against my son, who had betrayed both of us. I couldn't prove it, but I just knew my son was abusing the dog again, and I felt responsible for having left him alone with Kobe all these times. It was like Kobe finally lashed out in desperation after having nobody there to protect him. I felt sick to my stomach for having abandoned my dog with my kid, who obviously doesn't give a fuck about me or any of us, as long as he can't keep getting away with shit. I left work and went straight to the family home. This time, my wife answered the door and let me in. I went straight to my son's room, where he was laying down watching TV. He looked at me in surprise and I told him not to talk. I basically said, I know what you did. You can deny it, and you can blame me all you want, but you and I know what happened, and I am taking the dog. And if I ever find out you go near an animal like this again, I will report you to the police, and I don't care if you're my son. This is disgusting and unfair. I raised you better. Obviously, I said more than that, but that was the gist of it. He was extremely uncomfortable. I'm so glad that the dad did that because he needed to fucking hear it. The son needed to hear it because, like, what? The fact that he didn't even care about breaking, like, his family apart and none of that, as long as he just kept doing what he was doing with the dog, like, that is disgusting. I went downstairs out the back door to get the dog. I put a leash in Kobe and walked him through the house, and my wife stopped me and said she was sorry. We talked for about 5 minutes and we both got a little bit weepy. She asked me to forgive her, which I told her I did. Then she invited me to stay at the house, to which I said no, I'm not ready for that, and Kobe deserved better. I had already let him down too many times. I left her crying in the house and put Kobe in the car. We drove back to my friend's place where I'm staying. I've since been looking for a small apartment with short-term lease that accepts dogs, and I have decided that I am not going to move back in with my family, at least not in the immediate future. Kobe is finally back with me and is safe, and I need time to think about what our next move should be. I know that asking my friend to house and now a dog is pushing bounds of his good grace, so this is what has had to happen. A lot of you have written to me asking for updates, and I apologize for not getting back to all of you. Mostly I had no significant changes in the situation until all of this, but I thought you all deserved to know that the dog is safe. However, I still do not know what am I supposed to do about my son and wife. Do you think I should report him as is? The more I think about it, the more I'm sure he will probably just do this again. Kobe might be safe, but I am still, despite all he has done to me, worried about my son. He is a minor, so legally I am still responsible for him. What sort of thing does one do for somebody who does this? That kid, the son, he needs professional help. Because the fact that it just like an ongoing thing over and over, it's just insane to me. Like, but I'm so glad that the dad went back and got the dog. The mom, later on, she realized, but at least she realized, I don't know what happened now. Like, I don't know if this was 12 years ago. So I don't know what the hell has happened since then, but damn. That was an insane story. Anyways, that was all for today's YouTube video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Again, get that video to 2K likes if y'all want to see the take a shot after every makeup step, because I know y'all do. I know you do, because low-key I want to. So hurry up, because I want to do it. Let me know if y'all want to see a part 2 of this. Maybe I'm going to do some like drinker shots. Or maybe I shouldn't, because I can't even fucking read it high. I don't know. I don't even know if y'all gonna like this video, but let me know, okay? And comment down video suggestions. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the post notification buttons on so you can see whenever I post. Because you need to be here. You need to be in tune with me, okay? Not be in tune with you, alright? Alright. But anyways, I'll see y'all next video. Stay safe and I love y'all. Bye.